Chosen one, listen carefully. Tonight is not just another night, it is a divine turning point written in heaven's calendar long before you were born. The air around you is different because heaven has fixed its eyes on you. You have walked through storms that others never saw, carried weights that others never understood, and yet here you stand. That is not coincidence, that is divine evidence. You have survived what was meant to silence you because God still has something to say through your life. The pain you've endured has not gone unnoticed. Every tear you cried in private was heard in heaven. There were moments when you whispered, "God, do you see me?" And tonight, the answer thunders, "Yes, I see you." The darkness that tried to swallow you will now become the stage upon which God reveals His glory. This is the night heaven shifts things in your favor. The loneliness, the disappointment, the heartbreak, they were never meant to destroy you. They were chiseling your spirit into the shape of purpose. Every unanswered prayer was actually a divine delay, ensuring that you would be ready for what you're about to receive. There is no wasted suffering in the life of a chosen one. What felt like silence was heaven's construction season. In this very moment, heaven is leaning in. Angels take notice when faith flickers inside a wounded heart. Your name is being spoken in divine rooms, your destiny being drawn again in eternal ink. The fire you walked through wasn't punishment, it was preparation. The weight you carried wasn't proof of weakness, it was proof of capacity. God trusted you with the storm because He saw what would be born from it: resilience, faith, and authority. The Word of God declares in the book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 18, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." Do you feel that stirring inside you right now? That isn't emotion, it's activation. The Spirit of God is awakening the parts of you that have been asleep under pain. The same God who saw you cry yourself to sleep is now reaching into your story, rewriting the ending with redemption. You have entered a prophetic hour where pain ends, cycles break, and light returns. What you sense right now is not imagination, it's divine alignment. Everything that once felt delayed is about to accelerate. Heaven is orchestrating movement in silence. The people who walked away made room for divine replacements. The doors that closed were never meant for your destiny. And tonight, God is opening a door that no human hand can shut. This is your midnight moment, the crossing between who you were and who you are becoming. The fear that used to define you loses its power in this atmosphere. The confusion that used to cloud your thoughts is lifting because the voice of God is cutting through the noise. You are being repositioned, recalibrated, and reignited. Chosen one, take a breath. You've been fighting for too long. Tonight is not about striving, it's about surrendering. You don't need to force what heaven has already declared finished. The light that once felt far away is already here, illuminating everything that was hidden. The season of struggle has served its purpose. Now the season of fulfillment begins. God is saying, "I saw you when no one else did. I was with you in the silence. I counted every tear, and now I trade them for peace." Your pain was a seed, and tonight it blooms into promise. You are not who you were yesterday. You are standing at the doorway of divine restoration. Let these words settle deep within you. The night will not end in sorrow, it will end in glory. Heaven has already written the next chapter, and it begins with victory. If this message has spoken to your soul, take a moment of obedience, like, share, and subscribe so this light reaches others who still sit in darkness. And as a prophetic declaration that your new season begins tonight, comment 777 below to say, "My pain ends, and my door opens now." You have carried more than most could ever imagine. The weight you've held in silence has been invisible to the world but never hidden from heaven. Every sigh, every sleepless night, every whispered question, heaven has heard them all. There were moments when your heart was so heavy that words wouldn't form, only tears. Yet even your tears spoke in a language heaven understands. You have been walking through fire, not as punishment, but as proof that you were built for endurance. There is something sacred about quiet suffering, the kind that doesn't announce itself, that smiles in public while breaking in private. You became a master at pretending everything was fine because you didn't want to burden others. But while people saw your strength, God saw your struggle. He saw the nights you stared into the dark, wondering if you were still seen at all. He saw you pushing through exhaustion, carrying responsibility, and holding together what others easily let fall apart. You have been the strong one for so long that you forgot what rest feels like. You learned to survive on empty because you thought that was faith. But God never asked you to carry it alone. The pain you've been holding was never meant to stay with you. It was meant to lead you back to Him. You have been faithful even when you felt forgotten, and that faithfulness has not gone unnoticed. In the unseen, heaven has been keeping record. Every silent sacrifice, every time you chose love over anger, forgiveness over bitterness, prayer over revenge, all of it has been written in the eternal book of remembrance. You didn't lose years. You planted them. Every season of endurance was a seed sown into the soil of destiny. And now, heaven says the season of harvest is near. There were times you thought, maybe I'm not strong enough. But strength was never about never breaking, it was about refusing to stay broken. The reason you kept standing was not because you had more power than others, but because grace carried you when you couldn't carry yourself. You thought your quiet tears were weakness, but they were worship. They were evidence that your spirit refused to surrender to darkness. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 56, verse 8. You number my wanderings, put my tears into your bottle. Are they not in your book? Think about that for a moment. Your tears are not wasted. They are collected. Every drop of pain has purpose attached to it. The God who created oceans has chosen to keep record of each tear that fell from your eyes. That means your sorrow has eternal value. The same God who bottles your tears also turns them into rivers of testimony. And now, the weight you've been carrying begins to shift. The invisible burden that sat on your chest is being lifted. You might not see it yet, but you'll feel it, a lightness, a clarity, a quiet peace that doesn't make sense but settles deeply. This is how healing begins, not in loud moments, but in holy stillness. You have walked through valleys that would have buried others. You have smiled while carrying invisible scars. And even when no one applauded, heaven stood to its feet in awe of your endurance. You were never forgotten, even when it felt like no one noticed. In truth, God was watching closely, preparing to exchange your sorrow for strength, your confusion for clarity. Every wound will soon testify. Every delay will soon make sense. The pain that once defined you will become the story that delivers others. What you carried in silence was not a curse, it was an assignment. Heaven trusted you with difficulty because it knew you would not give up. You are living proof that survival is sacred, that brokenness can still shine, that silence can still speak. The night has been long, yes, but the dawn that follows will make the darkness worth it. You will look back and realize that nothing was wasted, not one tear, not one trial, not one moment of waiting. Everything was preparation for what's about to unfold. So breathe, chosen one. The burden is lifting. Heaven has seen the weight you carried, and tonight, it begins to fall away. There were seasons when heaven seemed silent. You prayed, You fasted, you waited, and the only response was stillness. You began to wonder if you had done something wrong, if somehow you had fallen out of favor. But silence is not absence. It is not rejection. It is divine restraint. When God hides his voice, it is not to punish, it is to prepare. He speaks differently in the dark. You see, the silence you feared was actually a sacred classroom. While your emotions demanded answers, heaven was forming endurance. When you thought nothing was happening, roots were growing beneath the soil of your stillness. You were learning the sound of his heartbeat, not just his voice. And though it felt like heaven turned away, God was closer in those quiet moments than he ever was in your noise. There is a holy tension in waiting. It feels like emptiness, but it's actually divine fullness waiting to be revealed. God's delay is never denial, it's timing in disguise. You didn't hear him because he was orchestrating something you couldn't yet understand. He was aligning people, shifting circumstances, and protecting you from what looked like opportunities but were actually traps. When you prayed and heard nothing, heaven was speaking through events instead of words. When you felt alone, you were actually being hidden, not abandoned, but preserved. Some seasons require God to go silent so that faith can learn to see without sound. There were days you shouted into the void, "God, where are you?" and heaven whispered back through the quiet, "Right here." You just couldn't hear it over the noise of your fear. But even your doubts did not disqualify you. Every question you asked became a doorway to deeper revelation, as declared in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31 and verse 6. Be strong and of good courage. Do not fear nor be afraid of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. That verse is not a distant promise, it's your present reality. God has never left. The silence was not proof of distance, but of depth. He was teaching you to trust his character when you couldn't trace his hand. True faith is forged in those moments when heaven feels quiet, but your spirit still says, "I will wait." Look at your story. Every unanswered prayer carried a hidden answer. Every detour was a divine redirection. The delay that once broke your heart was the very thing protecting it. If the door had opened earlier, you would have walked into rooms not built to hold your destiny. Heaven's timing is perfection disguised as patience. So tonight, understand this: heaven was never ignoring you. It was training you. You are stronger now because of that silence. You hear differently now because you learned to listen beyond sound. The quiet you once feared has now become your sanctuary. When you learn to trust God's silence, you are no longer moved by the noise of the world. You begin to live from stillness, not from fear. That's what being chosen means. You operate on heaven's rhythm, not human hurry. Let this truth settle in you. The same God who was silent yesterday is speaking through your circumstances today. The same silence that once felt empty now echoes with meaning. Nothing was wasted, not even the quiet. It was all part of your training for what's next. If your heart recognizes this truth, if you've walked through the quiet and come out with deeper faith, then mark this moment as a declaration of trust. Comment "I trust you" below. Let that simple phrase be your act of faith. It's more than words, it's alignment. It's your spirit saying to heaven, even in silence, "I still believe." When you type "I trust you," you are not just writing words, you are releasing faith. It is your spirit's way of saying, even without answers, "I choose to believe your plan." Every "I trust you" becomes a seed of surrender that heaven waters. It tells God, "I'm done fighting what you've already finished. I rest in your timing, not my fear." There comes a moment in every chosen life when the weight of pain becomes unbearable, when your heart whispers, "I can't do this anymore." That moment is sacred. It is the edge of breaking. But what you did not know is that breaking point is never the end. It is the birthplace. Heaven does not waste collapse. It transforms it into creation, and what looked like your breaking was actually your becoming. You see, the greatest miracles are born from moments of complete surrender. When your strength runs out, God's strength begins. Every time you reach the end of yourself, you reach the beginning of His power. The pain that felt like punishment was really preparation. God was stretching your spirit, expanding your capacity, and refining your endurance. You weren't being destroyed, you were being developed. There is something divine about desperation. It empties you of everything artificial and leaves only what's eternal. When you hit rock bottom, you discovered the rock beneath the bottom, Christ Himself. When everything you built started to crumble, heaven was making room for what would never break. The breaking point revealed what was unshakable inside you. Do you remember the nights when you questioned if your prayers were wasted? When you looked up and said, "God, where are you?" What you didn't see was heaven standing over your pain like a gardener watching over newly sown seeds. The soil had to be broken so the life hidden within could emerge. Your breaking did not bury you, it planted you. There are seasons where pain becomes prophecy. What tried to kill you becomes the very thing that awakens purpose inside you. You start to realize that nothing you lost was truly loss. It was a trade. You traded what was temporary for what is eternal. You traded comfort for calling, tears for testimony, heartbreak for holiness. In your breaking, your heart learned how to recognize God's hand. You saw that His presence wasn't always gentle, it was sometimes surgical. He had to cut things away so you could finally breathe. And even though it hurt, it was holy. The crushing produced oil, the stretching produced strength, and the silence produced wisdom. As written in the letter to the Romans, chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. That truth is the foundation beneath your pain. All things, not some, not a few, all things are being woven together by unseen hands into a masterpiece of meaning. Even the betrayal, even the heartbreak, even the waiting. What you thought would break you is becoming the material God uses to build you. When you look back, you'll see that the worst days were secretly sacred. They were the nights heaven whispered lessons too deep for comfort. You learned to lean, to listen, to let go. You learned that losing control was not failure, it was freedom. God allowed your plans to fall apart because His were better. He took what you thought was the ending and turned it into the beginning of your true story. There is beauty in brokenness because it removes illusion. It makes room for authenticity. When you broke, you became transparent, and light passes best through what is transparent. The cracks in your heart became channels for grace. You may have scars, but those scars shine like windows for God's glory to be seen. Every chosen one must pass through the breaking. It is the holy initiation of destiny. You cannot walk in divine power without first walking through divine pressure. That's how heaven shapes vessels that can hold glory. The fire refines, the weight strengthens, and the breaking births. So tonight, instead of asking, "Why did it happen?" ask, "What is being born from this?" Because every breakdown carries a breakthrough hidden within it. You are not falling apart, you are being reformed. The hands that allowed the breaking are the same hands that will rebuild you stronger, purer, and unshakable. The pain that once defined you will one day introduce you. People will see your scars and recognize survival, resilience, and grace. You will tell your story not with shame, but with power. Because the breaking that hurt you became the bridge that carried you into destiny. This is the mystery of the chosen. They are not destroyed by their breaking, they are delivered through it. You have walked through the darkness long enough to know what light truly means. The path behind you was rough, uneven, sometimes lonely, but every step carved something divine into your soul. You've carried questions, doubts, and moments of weariness. But still, you're here. And that here is holy, because it means the night didn't win. It means your spirit endured when everything else gave way. What you've been through was not wasted. Heaven has been writing purpose into every scar. Each heartbreak softened your heart to feel others' pain. Each disappointment sharpened your discernment to see truth. Every tear you've shed watered the seed of compassion now blooming inside you. What broke you was never meant to destroy you, it was meant to reveal your depth. You see, God's whisper has followed you through every storm, saying quietly you were never forsaken. Those words might sound simple, but they carry eternal weight. When you cried in secret, heaven heard. When you wanted to give up, heaven intervened. When you thought no one noticed, heaven took record. You were never walking alone. Invisible hands were guiding your steps through every valley. And now, as the air begins to shift around you, heaven begins to release restoration. The same God who saw your pain is now breathing life into your purpose. What once felt heavy begins to lift. You feel it, don't you? That subtle peace that doesn't make sense but feels real, that's heaven's confirmation that the story is turning. As revealed in the book of Isaiah, chapter 41, verse 10. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Yes, I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Those words are not ancient. They are alive tonight, breathing into you like wind filling a sail. God's hand is the invisible force pushing you forward when you have no strength left. The same hand that steadied you through pain now points toward your promise. And as this light begins to reach deeper into your heart, something else begins to awaken, a quiet gratitude. Gratitude for the storms that shaped you, for the nights that taught you how to pray, for the wounds that became wells of wisdom. Gratitude is what turns survival into testimony. Now, as this message reaches you, I want to speak to that spark of light inside the part that still believes, still hopes, still wants to see others healed the way you've begun to heal. Every word spoken here, every message that reaches someone sitting in darkness continues because of hearts like yours. Think of it like this: when you like and share this message, you are releasing a beam of light into someone else's night sky. Somewhere, someone scrolling through their storm will see your shared light and remember hope. When you subscribe, it's like choosing to keep a lamp burning so that every new flame heaven sends can find you again. And if your heart ever feels moved, only if it's genuine, never forced, consider planting a small seed of love through a donation. Imagine dropping a single candle into a vast cathedral of darkness. That one flicker becomes part of an endless glow. That is what your giving does. It keeps the light alive so broken hearts across the world can see again. This is not obligation, it's overflow. You give not because you must, but because something in your spirit whispers, I want this light to reach farther. Even the smallest seed you sow, your time, your prayer, your support becomes part of a miracle unfolding in lives you may never meet. So if you felt the warmth of this word, let your light move, like share, subscribe, or donate as your heart leads. Each act is a whisper to heaven, keep the flame burning. And even if tonight you give nothing but your silent amen, that too is sacred. Take a deep breath now. You have come so far, and the same God who upheld you will continue to carry you. Share this light when you can. Support it if you feel led. And above all, keep walking with your heart open, because somewhere out there, someone needs the light you now carry. There are moments in life when you can sense something shifting, though you cannot yet explain it. The atmosphere feels charged, time feels slower, and your heart beats with an awareness that something sacred is drawing near. Tonight is one of those moments. You are standing at the threshold of the unseen, where faith meets fulfillment. Heaven has begun to open a prophetic door before you, a door that no power of darkness can close. You have felt it coming for a while now, haven't you? That pull in your spirit, that stirring in your dreams, that whisper that says, "Get ready." It's because heaven has already written this moment into your story. You're not chasing after something uncertain. You're stepping into something that has already been prepared. When the time of divine alignment arrives, everything begins to move at once. Delays end. Hidden things are revealed. Paths clear. People who were meant to walk with you suddenly appear, and those who no longer fit quietly fade away. It is not chaos, it is choreography. Heaven moves with perfect timing. And right now, the divine clock has struck your hour. You have been faithful in the waiting. You have sown in tears, stayed true when others fell away, and believed when it would have been easier to doubt. That faith has now opened the gate before you. Tonight is not a random night, it is the night heaven honors your endurance. As written in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 8. "Behold, I have set before you an open door, which no one can shut." That door is not just symbolic, it is real in the spirit. It represents transition, transformation, and transfer. God is moving you from preparation into manifestation, from promise into possession. The same faith that carried you through storms is now carrying you into a new season of abundance, peace, and divine clarity. You might not see the full picture yet, but that's the beauty of walking by faith. When a door first opens, you don't always see what's inside, you just feel the pull to step through. It takes courage to move from comfort to calling, from what you've known to what you've been promised. But this is your moment to move. Something powerful happens when heaven opens a door. Resistance rises. You may feel sudden fear, distractions, even doubt whispering that it's too good to be true. But remember, every open door attracts opposition. The darkness resists what it cannot stop. That's why this moment demands obedience, not hesitation. God's open door rarely comes with loud signs, it comes with peace. Deep, quiet, undeniable peace. The kind that settles over you like dawn after a storm. That peace is your signal. It means heaven has already gone ahead of you to prepare the way. You don't need to push, you only need to step. Take a deep breath. This is not about striving, it's about surrendering into alignment. Heaven has been preparing both you and the door. The key has always been faith, and tonight, that key turns. You will feel something shift inside like the click of a lock being released. That's not imagination, that's heaven confirming it is time. Now, as you stand at this threshold, let your heart answer heaven's invitation. The moment you acknowledge it, the door begins to swing wider. The way you respond matters, it anchors the promise into motion. So right now, as a prophetic act of faith, comment 555 below. This is not a ritual, it's a declaration. The number represents divine grace for new beginnings and supernatural release. When you write it, you're saying, "I choose to walk through my open door. I accept what heaven is giving." And is. Type it not out of fear, but out of faith. Let every 555 written in the comments become a sound of agreement echoing through the spirit realm, a chorus of chosen ones stepping boldly into destiny. The prophetic door is open. Now, it's your move. Fire has always been a mystery. It destroys and purifies, consumes and creates. And in your life, the fire has done both. You have felt it, the heat of trials that pressed against your spirit until you thought you would break. You wondered why you had to endure so much, why others walked easy paths while you walked through flames. But what you didn't realize was that the fire was never sent to destroy you. It was sent to refine you. There are some qualities that only heat can reveal. Gold doesn't glisten until it's purified. Diamond doesn't shine until it's cut. And faith doesn't grow until it's tested. You have been walking through holy fire not as punishment, but as preparation. God saw something precious inside you that could only be revealed when everything else melted away. The fire didn't come to harm you, it came to unveil you. At first, it felt unfair. You watched others succeed easily while your journey seemed to move from one test to another. You prayed for relief and instead received refinement. But heaven never wastes heat. The pressure you felt was proof that you carried value. The greater the call, the greater the refining. Fire touches only what carries potential. When you stood in the middle of your hardest season, surrounded by loss and confusion, you asked, "Why me?" Heaven's answer was quiet but certain. "Because I can trust you." You were trusted with fire because your spirit would not collapse under it. Every flame that touched you burned away what was false, leaving only truth. And through it all, you changed. You began to see that the same fire that scorched your plans also illuminated your purpose. It burned away fear and forged resilience. It removed attachments to things that could not follow you into destiny. The fire separated the temporary from the eternal. What survived the flames is who you truly are. According to the writings of the prophet Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 9. "I will bring the third part through the fire, refine them as silver is refined, and test them as gold is tested. They will call on my name, and I will answer them." That is your story, Dodom. You have been through the refining. You have been through the testing, and now heaven is answering. The sound of your endurance has reached the throne of grace. God is declaring over you, the refining is finished. What that means is this: the pain that once purified you will no longer consume you. You've learned what you needed to learn. You've shed what you needed to release. You're no longer the same person who entered the fire. You've emerged stronger, wiser, more radiant. The world won't understand how you kept your peace. They'll ask how you survived what should have destroyed you. You'll tell them the truth: I didn't survive by strength. I survived by grace. Because that's what the fire revealed, not just your endurance, but His faithfulness. When gold comes out of the furnace, it carries the reflection of the one who refined it. The same is true for you. When heaven looks upon your life now, it sees its own image. You carry the mark of divine craftsmanship. You've been molded by mercy, shaped by struggle, and ignited by glory. The fire may have burned away comfort, but it left behind clarity. You now see who you are and whose you are. You're not defined by what you've lost, but by what you've found: identity, purpose, and an unbreakable bond with God. And here's the quiet beauty once the refining ends. The fire turns into warmth. What once hurt now heals. What once threatened to consume you now fuels you. You carry the flame, but it no longer burns, it lights. You are no longer running from the fire. You are walking as one who has become it. You carry within you a holy glow that darkness cannot comprehend. So walk forward with peace. The worst is behind you, and the best is built upon it. The same fire that once surrounded you now goes before you. You have been refined, not ruined, purified, not punished. Heaven looks upon you and calls you ready. The season of burning has ended. The season of brilliance begins. There is a moment after every storm when silence returns. But it's not the same silence as before. It carries the echo of thunder, the scent of rain, and the whisper of renewal. That's where you are now, standing in the stillness after the storm, surrounded by remnants of what once was, yet sensing the faint pulse of new beginnings beneath your feet. You are not who you were when the fire began. You have risen from the ashes, and the world is about to see the evidence of your becoming. You may not recognize yourself completely, and that's the point. The person who entered the trial cannot be the same one who exits it. Something in you has been reborn. The tears that once fell in pain are now watering the soil of destiny. The nights you spent in silence have written strength into your bones. Even your scars speak now. They no longer tell stories of defeat, but of deliverance. When everything around you collapsed, something within you awakened. You discovered that true strength is not loud or proud, it is quiet and steady, the kind that keeps walking even when the path disappears. You began to see that resurrection doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's simply you breathing again after believing you couldn't. The ashes around you are not signs of loss anymore, they are proof of transformation. Nothing pure is ever born without fire, and nothing lasting rises without ashes. You are standing in the aftermath of refinement, and from this ground, beauty begins to bloom. The pain that once choked your spirit now nourishes your purpose. Out of what fell apart, God is creating something entirely new. There is a reason you survived. The storm didn't forget you, it formed you. Heaven did not shield you from every battle because it was training your hands for war. The quiet strength you carry now is not accidental. It's inherited from every moment you chose faith over fear. You have become a living testimony of resilience, a walking sign that grace is stronger than grief. It was written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 61, verse 3. To appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. This is not poetic language, it's a divine exchange. Heaven is trading your ashes for beauty, your heaviness for song. The oil of joy is being poured where sorrow once lived. It's subtle, but real. You can sense it, the shift in your spirit, the lightness in your chest, the way peace is starting to return like the tide after a long night. You are not empty, you are clear. Everything unnecessary burned away, leaving room for clarity and peace. Your prayers may sound different now, less desperate and more trusting. You've stopped asking why and started saying thank you. That's the language of someone who has seen the goodness of God even in the dark. Look closely and you'll see it, the quiet evidence of resurrection in your daily life. The way you speak now carries more grace. The way you move feels lighter. Even your laughter holds healing. You're no longer running from the past. You're walking toward promise. The world might only see the surface, but heaven sees the depth. Every scar on your heart has become a doorway through which light enters. You've been broken open, not broken down. And in that breaking, you became something holy. Someone whose presence shifts the atmosphere, whose voice carries the tone of healing. Now the season of hiding is ending. You have been in the cocoon long enough. The wings are ready. Do not be afraid of being seen. You are not fragile anymore. You are fire refined into light. You have become the living proof that God resurrects what others bury. From this day forward, carry your story not as a burden but as a banner. The ashes that once covered you have turned to dust beneath your feet, and dust is the foundation of new creation. Walk on it boldly. You are not merely surviving, you are rising. There is something powerful about the sound of your own voice when it aligns with heaven. You may not realize it yet, but your words carry weight in the spirit realm. The same mouth that once cried out in pain now holds authority to speak peace. The same voice that trembled in weakness now commands strength. You are not just surviving the journey, you are shaping atmospheres with your sound. In the unseen world, your voice is not small. When you speak truth, light responds. When you declare hope, darkness trembles. The reason the enemy tried to silence you for so long was because he understood something you didn't. Your voice is a weapon. Every prayer you whispered, every amen you spoke through tears, every declaration of faith in the middle of fear, each one moved heaven. You have always carried divine authority, even when you didn't feel powerful. Words were the first tools God used to build creation, and you were made in His image. That means when you speak in alignment with His will, creation listens. You were never meant to be mute in your own story. You were meant to announce heaven's reality on earth. Think back to the times you stayed quiet because you thought your words wouldn't matter. Yet, how many times did things shift the moment you finally spoke up? How many times did peace enter a room when you prayed softly under your breath? You didn't realize it then, but heaven did. You were operating in spiritual authority. Your voice has been refined through pain. It has learned compassion through sorrow, wisdom through waiting, and power through prayer. It no longer speaks from ego, it speaks from experience. When you open your mouth now, heaven recognizes the tone of endurance, the sound of someone who's walked through fire and still believes. According to the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 21, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it shall eat its fruit. That verse is not a metaphor, it's reality. Every word you speak plants something. Some words build bridges, others build walls. Some release peace, others stir storms. But when your words are surrendered to heaven, they become arrows of light, piercing darkness with precision. This is why you must speak now. Declare what heaven says about you, not what the world whispered against you. Say, I am chosen. Say, I am healed. Say, I am walking through my door. The more you speak life, the more life surrounds you. And remember, your declarations don't need to be loud to be powerful. Sometimes the whisper of faith can shake eternity. It's not about volume, it's about alignment. When your spirit aligns with heaven's truth, even a whisper becomes a roar. You may feel small, but your voice carries the sound of resurrection. You are standing in the same creative current that spoke light into existence. When you release words of faith, you echo that same power. So do not hold back. Speak over your house. Speak over your health. Speak over your future. Let your voice remind darkness that you are still standing. Every yes you speak to heaven shifts something in the unseen. Every time you say, I will not give up, angels move. Every time you declare, God is with me, fear loses its grip. This is the language of victory, the sound of the chosen. Right now, let your faith respond. As a sign that you choose to walk in this power, comment, I speak life. It's not just a phrase, it's a decree. When you write it, you are telling both heaven and earth, my tongue will not echo fear anymore. My mouth will release purpose, peace, and prophecy. And type it as your agreement, as your act of authority. Let that simple phrase become a key in the spirit, one that unlocks what has been waiting for your voice to command it into being. Every crown is born from a cross. Every glory carries the memory of pain. You, chosen one, have learned this truth the hard way for a long time. It felt as though the weight on your shoulders was unfair, like you were carrying more than you could bear. Yet that same weight has become the very mold that shaped your crown. The burden you once resented has now turned into the symbol of your strength. When you look back, you'll see it, the pattern of grace hidden in every hardship. The betrayals, the disappointments, the delays, they were not there to break you but to build you. Every time you bent under pressure, heaven was forming endurance in you. Every wound you received became a mark of divine craftsmanship. The cross you carried became your classroom, and through it, you learned what love, humility, and purpose truly mean. In silence, you discovered reverence. In rejection, you learned recognition not from people but from God. What others called a burden, heaven called a blessing in disguise. The heaviness you bore was the weight of transformation. And now that the season of testing is passing, your spirit begins to rise lighter, brighter, freer. You are no longer just surviving, you are reigning. The Apostle Paul reminds us in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 4, verse 8. Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day, and not only to me, but also to all who have longed for his appearing. The crown is not given to the strongest, it's given to the faithful. And you, in all your quiet endurance, have proven faithful. Heaven does not crown the proud or the perfect, it crowns the persistent. The one who keeps walking, keeps believing, keeps forgiving, even when no one applauds. Now, as you stand beneath heaven's gaze, something sacred is happening. You may not see the crown yet, but you can feel its presence, the peace that settles, the assurance that whispers. You made it through. That is heaven's coronation, peace in place of pressure, joy in place of judgment. Every person who walks this path of light becomes a lighthouse for others. And that is what you have become. Your story, your scars, your resilience, they are lamps lit by divine fire. Someone out there, lost in their own darkness, will one day find their way because your story shined like a beacon. That's why what we're building here, these words, these messages, this community matters. It's more than sound or storytelling, when it's a living stream of healing flowing through screens and speakers, reaching hearts you'll never meet. When you like and share, you are not just clicking a button, you are sending out ripples of hope. You are saying to the world, there's still light here. Think of it like passing a candle to someone standing in the dark. You don't lose your flame, you multiply it. When you subscribe, you choose to keep that candle burning within your space, to let light visit you again and again when the world grows dim. And if you ever feel led to donate, do it as an act of love, not duty. Picture it like planting a small tree beside a river. One day, others will sit beneath its shade, refreshed and restored, because you decided to plant when it mattered most. This is not transaction, it's transformation. Every act of support keeps the current of light moving. Together, we become gardeners of grace, each tending to a portion of the field so healing keeps blooming. If all you can give tonight is your presence, your prayer, or your quiet amen, heaven treasures that too. Grace multiplies whatever we give from a willing heart. Walk forward now with your invisible crown. Carry your light freely and give only when gratitude overflows. Because when you act from love, every like, share, and gift becomes wholly a whisper that keeps light alive in the world. Before every breakthrough, there is always one last battle. You may have noticed it, the sudden resistance, the unexpected tension, the heaviness that tries to return just when you thought peace had finally settled. It's not coincidence. It's confirmation. The darkness always resists what heaven is about to release. Every chosen one faces this moment, the narrow passage between warfare and wonder. When the door of destiny begins to open, the atmosphere around you shifts. Old patterns resurface. People you've outgrown reappear. Doubts whisper louder. It almost feels as if everything is falling apart, but in truth, everything is falling into place. The enemy cannot stop what God has ordained, but he will try to distract you long enough for you to stop yourself. That's why this is the moment to stay still, to hold your ground, to trust that heaven is fighting for you. You've already survived worse. The same strength that carried you through the fire will carry you through this final storm. What you are feeling now is not the weight of defeat, it's the pressure of birth. The closer a child comes to being born, the more intense the pain becomes. The same principle applies in the spirit. Your promise is crowning, and this is the final push. Do not mistake warfare for abandonment. The presence of resistance is not the absence of God, it's the proof of his movement. The enemy does not attack what he is not threatened by. The sudden rise in pressure means heaven has announced your next level. You are too close to stop now. There's a rhythm to divine warfare. It begins in silence, builds in chaos, then ends in sudden peace. You're standing in that middle ground, the stretch between what you prayed for and what you are about to hold. It's uncomfortable, yes, but it's sacred. The tension is proof that heaven is tearing down one reality to make room for another. Every arrow thrown your way has been intercepted by grace. Every word spoken against you has been turned into wind beneath your wings. You are not surrounded by darkness, you are surrounded by angels. Heaven has assigned guardians to your steps, warriors unseen yet fiercely present. Even when you feel weary, you are never unprotected. As written in the letter to the Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. This verse is not meant to frighten you, it's meant to remind you where your true victory lies. Your battle is not with people, not with circumstance, but with the unseen forces that tremble every time you choose faith over fear. The moment you decided to trust God instead of giving in to despair, you won a war that eyes could not see. Every prayer you've prayed has become a sword in the hands of heaven. Every amen you whispered was an arrow released. You've been fighting longer than you realize, not by shouting, but by standing. And now, heaven is responding. You may not see the armies, but they're moving. You may not hear the sound, but victory is marching toward you. Stand your ground. The darkness you feel closing in is only a shadow, it cannot harm you. Its job is to test if you truly believe what you declared in the light. Hold fast to what you know. Remember how far you've come. Every step you've taken in faith is a seed planted in heaven's soil, and harvest always follows obedience. Even in this battle, peace is your greatest weapon. When you refuse to panic, the enemy loses his power. When you choose stillness, you invite heaven's armies to move on your behalf. So breathe. You are not losing, you are being refined one last time before reward. This final battle is not to break you, but to prove you. You will come out of it stronger, clearer, and crowned with new authority. The shaking you feel is not destruction, it's alignment. The ground beneath you is not collapsing, it's shifting into divine position. And when this wave passes, and it will, you'll look back and see that every moment of resistance was a rehearsal for victory. You'll realize that heaven had been fighting for you long before you even knew there was a war. So do not fear this moment. You've already won. The proof is in your endurance. The warfare at the doorway means only one thing: the door is about to open wide. Every movement in heaven carries a pattern, a rhythm, a code that speaks through signs. Numbers are one of the languages of the divine, each one echoing meaning beyond logic, woven with purpose and mystery. You have seen certain numbers repeat in your path, haven't you? On clocks, receipts, license plates, moments that feel too specific to be random. Those are not coincidences, they are confirmations. Heaven speaks in patterns because patterns keep you anchored when words fade. Tonight, you stand in a season marked by transition. What once was is ending. What will be is beginning. You can feel the pull, the quiet knowing that something new is unfolding. It's not chaos, it's completion. Heaven often closes one cycle completely before opening another. And when that moment comes, creation itself leaves fingerprints, prophetic numbers that appear as whispers to the aware. There is one number that carries that vibration tonight. It represents restoration, divine justice, and fulfilled promises. It is the pattern of wholeness, the seal of heaven saying, "It is done." That number is 888. The 888 does not speak of mere repetition. It symbolizes overflow. It means the end of delay, the multiplication of grace, and the return of what was lost. When God moves in eights, He restores not only what was taken but also what was promised. The number is not magic, it's meaning. It is heaven's way of telling you that completion and new creation are happening at once. You have walked through long seasons of pruning, stripping, waiting. But now the branches begin to bear fruit. What you lost will not just return, it will return multiplied, matured, and meaningful. The number 888 declares that the years of drought are over, and the reign of reward has begun, as declared in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 5, verse 17. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. That verse is the spiritual sound behind 888. It reminds you that you are not just being repaired, you are being recreated. The old things that once defined you have dissolved in the light of grace, and what stands now is a new version of you, born from ashes and fire. Heaven is not merely healing your wounds, it is rewriting your entire narrative. Every detail in your life, the timing, the connections, the breakthroughs will soon reveal divine order. You will look back and see that nothing was random. Even the detours were directions. Even the delays were preparation. The fingerprints of heaven were on everything. Now, this is your moment to acknowledge that pattern. When you recognize heaven's movement, you align yourself with it. You step into the flow rather than fighting against it. You move from striving to surrender, from confusion to clarity. And tonight, as a prophetic act of agreement with what heaven is doing, comment 888 below, not as superstition, but as a declaration. I step into the new. I welcome restoration. I receive overflow. When you type 888, you are not summoning luck, you are sealing faith. It's your spirit's way of saying, I see the signs, and I agree with heaven. It's a small act, but heaven has always moved through small acts, through whispers, through obedience, through faith. Let every 888 written become a light in the darkness, a shared sound of those who believe that the night is over and the dawn has begun. You are part of that movement, a chorus of chosen ones stepping together into new creation. The old cycle has closed. The new one begins now. When you type 888, you are choosing to stand in the rhythm of heaven. It is your declaration that endings have served their purpose and new beginnings have arrived. You are not waiting for change, you are walking in it, alive in the flow of divine renewal and restoration. Each 8888 becomes a golden echo through eternity. It tells heaven, I am ready for the new creation you've prepared. It is not about numbers, it's about faith made visible, surrender made active, and hope made permanent. Let your 888 be your seal of transformation. There are moments when heaven's activity becomes almost tangible, when the air feels alive, when peace wraps around you without reason, and when stillness suddenly feels crowded, as if unseen presences have filled the room. You are not imagining that. Heaven has sent reinforcements. The battle has been long, the warfare has been fierce, and now, divine help has arrived. The angels that once watched from a distance are now standing beside you. For many seasons you fought feeling alone. You prayed through silence, walked through shadows, and wondered if anyone seen or unseen was standing with you. Yet even then, you were never alone. The unseen has always been alive around you, moving quietly, protecting, redirecting, covering you in ways you never knew. Every time you narrowly avoided harm, every time peace came when it shouldn't have, angels were near. Their presence is not dramatic, it is steady, like a soft current moving through the air. You might not see their faces, but you will recognize their effects, coincidences that turn into divine timing, fear that dissolves without explanation, strength that rises from nowhere. These are not luck or willpower. These are signs of divine escort. There are angels assigned to every chosen one. They are not myths or poetic symbols. They are messengers, warriors, guardians of purpose. Their job is not to make your path easy, but to ensure you reach the destination written for you. They stand watch in the dark hours, not because you are weak, but because your calling carries weight. Light always attracts opposition, and heaven never sends a soldier unguarded, as revealed in the book of Psalms, chapter 91, verse 11. For he shall give his angels charge over you to keep you in all your ways. Those words are not ancient comfort, they are current reality. Even now, the atmosphere around you is thick with divine defense. The storms you faced were permitted, but they were never unprotected. Every trial was surrounded by unseen hands, shielding what truly mattered: your soul, your calling, your light. There were moments when you almost gave up. You didn't realize that heaven intervened, redirecting, protecting, sustaining. Some of the doors that closed were closed by angels who knew what you couldn't. Some of the people who left were escorted out by divine order, not because you failed, but because you were being protected from unseen harm. Heaven's no was often an angel's intervention. When you felt comfort in impossible moments, that peace wasn't accidental, it was delivered. When strength returned just as you reached your breaking point, that wasn't adrenaline, it was reinforcement. You've been carried more times than you know, lifted by hands you could not see. The presence of angels does not remove struggle, it ensures victory. They do not eliminate storms, but they guarantee that you will not drown in them. They fight battles you never see, redirect arrows you never feel, and hold you upright when spiritual winds howl around you. You've mistaken protection for coincidence, but heaven keeps no coincidences, only coordination. These beings move in obedience to God's command, but they also respond to faith. When you pray, angels move. When you declare truth, they act. Every time you choose light over despair, they strengthen your stance. Your perseverance gives them permission to continue their assignment with greater force. And though they are mighty, they marvel at one thing: your resilience. To them, your faith is light. Every prayer you whisper becomes a signal flare in the spirit, and they rally to it. They do not stand because you are fragile. They stand because you are chosen. The path ahead may still hold battles, but you will never again walk them unguarded. The same angels who protected you in secret are now preparing the ground for public victory. You are stepping into a season where protection becomes presence, where you will feel the nearness of heaven in everything you do. So if you sense peace where fear used to live, that's not emptiness, it's occupancy. You are surrounded, supported, safeguarded. The same God who spoke galaxies into being has stationed his warriors around your destiny. You are not outnumbered, you are overshadowed by grace, and the angels who have walked beside you through every storm now stand, watching as you rise. Their assignment is not ending, it is evolving. They are shifting from guardians of survival to witnesses of your glory. Heaven has surrounded you, and the earth will soon see why. Something has changed in the air around you. It's subtle but real, a new sense of calm, a quiet power settling deep within your spirit. You've walked through the wilderness, faced the flames, endured the silence, and now something holy is resting upon you. It's invisible to the eye but undeniable to the heart. Heaven has clothed you in a new identity. The mantle of the chosen now rests on your shoulders. This mantle is not made of fabric or thread. It's woven from obedience, faith, and perseverance. It carries the fragrance of every prayer you've prayed, every battle you've survived, every tear that fell in faith instead of fear. The old you, the one who doubted, the one who feared rejection, the one who second-guessed your worth, has faded into memory. The person standing here now carries authority born from endurance. You may not feel different at first, but others will sense it. They will notice something about your presence, peace that doesn't break, words that carry weight, eyes that seem to see through pain and into purpose. You have become an instrument of divine clarity. Your voice no longer merely speaks, it shifts atmospheres. Your touch no longer comforts alone, it awakens. That is what happens when heaven crowns someone with calling. The mantle is evidence of transformation. It doesn't erase what you've been through, it redeems it. The wilderness built your wisdom, the fire birthed your faith, and the breaking taught you compassion. Each of those seasons stitched a new thread into your mantle. That's why it shines, not because it's perfect, but because it's authentic. As written in the first letter of Peter chapter 2 verse 9. But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, his own special people, that you may proclaim the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. This verse is no longer just a promise, it's a mirror. Look closely and you'll see yourself reflected in it. You have been called out of darkness, not simply to escape it, but to carry light back into it for others still searching. The mantle you now wear is both armor and invitation, protection for your purpose and permission for your calling. Heaven doesn't give mantles to the proud, it gives them to the faithful. You earned nothing, you simply endured. You stayed when others ran. You believed when evidence said otherwise. You forgave when betrayal begged for revenge. Every act of faithfulness wove another layer into this covering, and now it fits perfectly. Carrying a mantle is both privilege and responsibility. It means your life is no longer ordinary. Your words matter more now. Your silence carries weight. You no longer respond from emotion, but from assignment. People may not understand the change, but that's because they haven't seen what you've seen. You've been on the mountain with God, and the glow cannot be hidden. This mantle also carries memory. It remembers every cry, every prayer, every step of surrender. It is the evidence that nothing was wasted. Even your lowest moments became material for divine covering. What the enemy meant for harm became the very fabric of your authority. That is how heaven works. It transforms pain into power, scars into symbols, wounds into wonders. You'll notice that doors open more easily now, not because life has become effortless, but because heaven now recognizes you by this mantle. You have been identified as one who carries light, and creation responds to that light instinctively. People drawn to you won't always understand why, but their spirit will recognize what their mind cannot name. The mantle doesn't make you better, it makes you responsible. You've been entrusted with something sacred, the ability to carry peace where chaos lives, to bring truth where lies have ruled, to speak hope where despair has lingered. You are no longer just one who receives miracles. You are one through whom miracles move. There will still be challenges, but you'll face them differently now. You no longer pray for escape, you pray for endurance. You no longer ask, "Why me?" but instead whisper, "Use me." Because that's what the mantle does. It turns survival into service, struggle into stewardship. Heaven doesn't crown you to elevate you above others. It clothes you so you can reach deeper into the world's ache with healing in your hands. You are now both testimony and tool, both light and vessel. The darkness that once terrified you now fears you, for you are no longer who you were, you are who heaven always saw. The time for silence has ended. The call of heaven is rising within you again, not as a shout, but as a steady heartbeat reminding you that purpose still breathes. You have carried the weight, worn the scars, walked through the fire, and now you stand unshaken. This is the hour to take your place, not in pride, but in presence. You have been refined not just for survival, but for leadership, for light. The world doesn't need more noise, it needs more truth. And your life, your testimony, your endurance that is truth. Every lesson carved into your soul has become oil for the lamps of others. You are one of heaven's torches now, burning not by effort, but by grace. Your story was never wasted. It was preparation for influence. You carry peace in your voice. You carry hope in your presence. Every step you take leaves behind light for those who follow. The enemy fought you so fiercely because he knew what would happen when you finally realized who you are, a living lighthouse in a restless sea. This is what it means to stand unshaken. It doesn't mean storms stop, it means storms no longer stop you. You've learned how to walk through the rain without losing your fire. You've learned to hear God's voice even when thunder drowns everything else. That quiet steadiness in you, it's not weakness, it's spiritual maturity. As written in the first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 15, verse 58. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that your labor in the Lord is not in vain. Those words are a banner over your life now. You've become a symbol of what unwavering faith looks like, gentle, yet unbreakable. Heaven trusts you with stability because you've proven faithful through chaos. And now, that same faithfulness becomes a foundation for others to stand on. Every person who crosses your path will feel something shift around you. That's not charisma, it's calling. You're not here to impress, you're here to impact. Every word you speak, every gesture of kindness, every quiet prayer, it all ripples through eternity. You may never see the full harvest of your obedience, but heaven records it all. And as these words reach you now, I want to speak to that quiet place in your heart, the one that knows this is more than just a message. This is movement. What's happening here, what we're building together, is not entertainment, it's restoration. These words go where pain hides, and they bring healing. They flow like light down forgotten hallways of the heart. When you like and share, you're not just interacting, you're extending. Imagine your hand lighting a candle in the distance. Someone you will never meet might see your light and remember their worth. That's what happens when you share light. It multiplies without losing itself. When you subscribe, think of it as keeping a lamp by your window. Each new word that arrives is another flame added to your home. It's a simple act, but every flame helps build a constellation of faith that covers this world in hope. And if your heart ever feels stirred to donate, don't see it as a transaction, see it as planting. A single seed may seem small, but once placed in the soil of purpose, it becomes a tree that gives shade to strangers and fruit to generations. Your giving, no matter how small, becomes an echo of eternity. Everything done from love, whether a share, a comment, a quiet prayer, or a gift, is sacred. It's how heaven continues its work through human hearts. So, if this message found you in a quiet place and brought peace, let it move through you. Comment something simple, a word, a thought, a feeling. Each word you leave is like carving light into stone, a record of faith written in time. You don't have to do anything grand. Just respond as your spirit leads. Share the light if it moved you. Support the flame if you feel called. Stay close to this space if your heart finds rest here. There is no pressure, no demand, only the beauty of choice. Because when love leads, every act, big or small, becomes worship. And worship, in its truest form, is simply saying yes to light. There comes a dawn after every longest night. It doesn't burst in with fanfare or thunder, it arrives quietly, like a breath. You can almost miss it if you're still looking backward. The horizon lightens, the air softens, and for the first time in a long while, your soul feels safe again. The battle that once filled every thought is fading into memory. What remains is peace. Simple and steady. You've walked through shadow and come out whole. The things that once broke you no longer have power. The ache that used to echo in your chest has turned into understanding. You no longer flinch at the mention of the past. You nod, knowing that everything had purpose. The night that almost swallowed you has become your teacher. The darkness you feared has become the backdrop that now makes your light impossible to ignore. This dawn isn't just a change in time, it's a change in you. You wake with clarity instead of confusion, with gratitude instead of grief. You can breathe deeply again, and your heart no longer beats in panic, but in peace. This is not the same world you left when the pain began. It feels lighter because you are lighter. The heaviness has lifted, the chains have fallen, and what remains is freedom. You see, healing doesn't always happen in a flash. It unfolds like morning light, touching one corner of your soul at a time until everything is illuminated. For so long, you prayed for a miracle that would happen instantly. But heaven was writing a slower story, one where healing didn't skip the process but sanctified it. That's why this peace feels so real. It was not borrowed, it was built. There's a stillness now, but it's not emptiness, it's fullness. The silence that used to hurt now feels holy. It no longer echoes with absence, it hums with presence. God is not distant, He is quietly near. Every breath feels like evidence of grace. Every sunrise reminds you that light always wins. As spoken in the book of Psalms, chapter 30, verse 5, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. That verse has been fulfilled in you. The long night of tears has made way for joy that doesn't depend on circumstance. You don't need everything perfect to feel peace anymore. Peace has become your default state, not a passing visitor. It doesn't come and go with outcomes, it lives in you. You no longer chase what left. You no longer grieve what never returned. You have learned that letting go is not losing, it's making space. Everything that departed was part of clearing the path for what's meant to remain. The peace you hold now was impossible to receive when your hands were still clenched around yesterday. Look at how far you've come. There was a time when you thought you'd never smile again. Now you smile not because life is flawless, but because you are finally free. The laughter returning to your lips is sacred, it's redemption singing. You are not laughing as a distraction from pain. You are laughing as a declaration of victory. The dawn after the longest night always carries a certain quiet confidence. The same stars that once watched your tears now fade into a brighter light. And you realize something the darkness never truly won. It only made you shine stronger. The pain didn't destroy you, it introduced you to yourself. There will still be challenges, yes, but they won't shake you the same way. You now walk with wisdom earned through endurance. You carry a calm that storms can't steal. You've learned to trust the timing of heaven even when you can't trace it. That is maturity, the kind forged not in comfort but in perseverance. And now, your dawn is not just for you. Your peace becomes proof for others that light returns. Someone watching your life will find hope again simply by seeing that you survived. That's the quiet ministry of those who endure. They become living evidence that morning always comes. So breathe in this dawn. Let it fill every space that once knew sorrow. You are no longer waiting for peace, you are walking in it. The long night has ended, and the first light of purpose has begun to pour over everything you are. The sky has changed color, and so have you. There is a sacred stillness that fills the air when destiny finally opens its door. It doesn't come with noise or applause, it comes with recognition. A quiet knowing deep within your spirit that says, "This is it. This is the moment I was made for." You've waited, endured, believed, and now the waiting is over. The prophetic door that heaven promised is fully open before you. What once was vision is now reality. You step forward slowly, not out of fear, but out of reverence. Everything inside you knows this ground is holy. Every step feels like walking on answered prayer. The road ahead looks familiar because you've seen it in your dreams. But now, it no longer feels distant. What you once hoped for is now breathing around you. The promises you held onto through tears are unfolding, one heartbeat at a time. It's strange how destiny feels less like fireworks, more like peace. The same peace that whispered to you during storms now surrounds you like morning light. You expected triumph to feel loud, but instead, it feels steady, pure, grounded. This is not the rush of victory, it's the calm of fulfillment, and the waiting, the breaking, the refining, it all led here. Nothing was wasted. Everything you've endured has become part of this moment. Every scar tells a story. Every prayer paved a path. The struggles didn't delay your destiny, they designed it. What once seemed like detours were actually directions leading straight to this door. You realize now that God was never late. He was precise. Every closed season, every long silence, every tear was timed. As written in the book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 5, "He who was seated on the throne said, 'Behold, I make all things new.'" That verse now lives inside you. You are the proof of it. You've become the living evidence that God truly makes all things new, not just circumstances, but souls. You are not the same person who entered the night. You have emerged remade whole, wise, and free. The pain that once broke you has become the soil where joy now grows. You stand now in the open doorway of promise. Behind you lies the shadow of old battles. Ahead of you, the brilliance of new beginnings. You no longer carry the weight of survival, you carry the rhythm of purpose. The fears that once chained you have melted in the presence of divine fulfillment. You don't have to chase what is already yours. The season of striving is over. The season of walking in fullness has begun. The world will see the change, but only heaven will know the cost. What others perceive as confidence is actually consecration, years of surrender hidden behind your calm. You've learned the secret of lasting victory. It isn't found in speed or strength, but in stillness, in trust, in obedience. That is what unlocks doors no man can shut. As you cross this threshold, notice how light floods everything. What once was blurry is clear now. What once felt uncertain is undeniable. This is the beauty of divine timing when everything aligns. Peace confirms what words cannot explain. You don't have to force what flows naturally. The blessing you once begged for now unfolds without striving, because it's yours by design. And though this is fulfillment, it's also beginning. Every promise fulfilled births another purpose. You've entered not an ending, but a continuation, one chapter closed, another opening beneath your feet. You no longer walk as one seeking favor. You walk as one who carries it. Every step you take leaves imprints of light, reminders that someone once stood where you now stand and decided to keep believing. Your story now becomes a map for others. The pain that refined you will become language for their healing. The lessons you've learned in private will soon speak loudly through your life. You are no longer just a recipient of grace. You are its messenger. Heaven didn't bring you through for you to hide. You are meant to live as proof that restoration is real. So, step fully through the door. Do not look back with regret, and do not look ahead with fear. Look around with wonder. You are standing in the manifestation of what you once only imagined. This is the moment when everything heaven promised finds its place in your hands. You are restored. You are radiant. You are unstoppable. The door is open and you are walking through it. And now, the story rests. The door stands open, the light spills through, and you, God's chosen one, are walking forward, carrying every lesson carved from darkness into dawn. What began in pain has ended in purpose. You are no longer waiting for signs. You are the sign. Heaven has completed what it started. But light, by its very nature, is never meant to stay still. It travels, touching, warming, awakening. Let your light move too. When you like and share this message, it's not just an action, it's a ripple. It's your hand gently releasing a lantern across the waters of the world, guiding someone still searching for the shore. When you comment, you leave a trace of faith behind, a word, a whisper that might be exactly what another soul needs to see. Your simple "I receive" or "I believe" can echo farther than you imagine. It becomes a spark in someone's night. When you subscribe, it's like building a quiet altar in your space, a promise to keep walking with the same light that found you here. It means you're choosing to stay connected to what nourishes your spirit, to let heaven continue writing through your days. And if your heart ever stirs to donate, do it softly, freely, as one plants a seed without demand for harvest. Think of it as adding another flame to this shared fire, keeping the glow alive for those still wandering toward warmth. There is no pressure, only invitation, an open hand, not a closed fist. Give, share, or simply breathe gratitude. Because every act born from love becomes light, and together, our lights form constellations strong enough to guide the world home.